Good morning, everybody, and welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge, and we're back with win, lose, or draw, our Premier League predictions. And I'm joined by Robbie. It's a big weekend. We want to talk about the derby. Also, we're talking about VAR. Robbie was out late last night, but he looks a lot better than me. I've been hit by some sort of hay fever nonsense, and he looks fresher than a daisy. How you doing, Robbie?
Yeah, I'm good. With your hay fever, do you get it when you go abroad?
You know what? Whenever I go to Spain, never get it. I don't know what that's all about in the chat. If I'm in Spain, I don't get it. The UK, I didn't even cut the grass yesterday. It was just sat outside for about half an hour, and then all last night, nose running, itchy nose, itchy throat. Just feel terrible. But I take antihistamines as well. Doesn't work.
Yeah, so many people that they go abroad, they don't get it, but if they're over here, they suffer from it. Have you tried one that I saw? Listen, I don't get it, but somebody I know who used to get quite bad tried eating the local honey.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
That's supposed to be pretty good.
I might give that a go. Actually, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I tell you,
Dr. Robbie, man, don't worry. Dr. Robbie is here.
There's a new channel here.
All ailments.
Last night I said I'm going to do walk across America, and then I realised it'd take me 3 months. So I was coming up with an idea of walking with Goldbridge, but Dr. Robbie, I mean, this sounds a real goer. Okay, I tell you, could do with some honey at the weekend. Manchester United, it's the Manchester derby. Let me just tell you, in win, lose, or draw, Robbie was winning by 2 points. He's now winning by 4. I had a worry about this midweek, and we'll go through that in a minute and some of the games. We're going to talk about Manchester derby. Arsenal go to Everton. The top 5 race is really where it's all at the moment. Although maybe Ipswich Wolves could be a glimmer of hope for Ipswich. Before we get into that, though, Robbie, VAR this week. Ange, I don't normally stick up for Ange. He normally loses it after a game. But he did say after the game last night against Spurs that VAR, you never know what they're going to do, and they're ruining the game. And some people like the controversy. I've got to be honest, the Tarkowski red card, I've said for a long time about handballs. And if I'm doing a watch along or whatever, I'll get into an argument with the chat all the time, because I'll say, you can't tell me what handball is because I've seen it given and not given. And now with red cards, I'm almost in the same boat, because that Tarkowski one, I know they've admitted it was a mistake, but you still made the mistake. And the amount of time they took on the Sarr goal yesterday, which was obviously a foul, the offside, I know we're getting automated offside, but it's another bad week for VAR. And I think Ange actually is right for once. It is ruining the spectacle. 12 minutes added on as well last night.
Yeah, the referees who handle the VAR are ruining the spectacle. There's nothing wrong with VAR in my books. I think we have to have it now. You know what I mean? We're living in a society where loads of cameras everywhere. The cameras on your phone are as good as 4K, as good as they ever were. There's cameras everywhere. You have to have VAR. You have to. It's not like back in the day when there weren't many camera angles. There is now. So we'd still be, if we took away VAR, and you see it sometimes in some of the FA Cup games in the early rounds, big mistakes are made. Everybody's like, oh, that was so obvious. So you have to have it. But the guys who are doing it in this country are awful, right? Yeah. We've seen it all season. Some of the decisions are absolutely terrible. And that one the other night, that Tarkowski one, that was ridiculous. Even when he did it at the time, when I saw the first replay, right, I was watching the game with my daughter, and I said, hey, that's a red. I go, he knows. You could just see it on his face. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, you got the ball
football,
first.
Don't you? And you
yeah, you got the ball first, but he knows what he's doing. A deliberate follow through to foul McAllister, and it was a horrible tackle as well. The sort of tackle do serious injury. If anything, if you ever wanted to see something tick all the boxes for a red card, that was it. And they didn't send him off. And as a friend of mine was saying to me yesterday, he goes, remember when they sent off Declan Rice for barely touching the ball at the start of the season, right? Where they reckon he kicked it away. And he goes, then you see the Tarkowski one. He goes, what are they doing, these referees, right? And then, the one yesterday, it was the amount of time they took. They came to the right decisions on each one of them, but it took so long. It's a good job that they're bringing in the automated offside, but why is it taking this long to bring in when everybody else has been using it? I don't know what the referees and what Howard Webb and what are they doing in this country. I mean, I think they've had a horrendous season, the referees, you know, and Howard Webb, who's in charge, I'd love to see what he's going to come out and say at the end of the season. Remember, throw into that the whole David Coote controversy. The guy's there taking coke, right, on whilst he's officiating, you know, UEFA games. I mean, it's been terrible for them, and I think they should be maybe looking at it and thinking, do they need a change in leadership there? I mean, we'll talk about, you know, you could talk about, say, Big Ange, and should he even be in a job, but then you could talk about Howard Webb for the same thing, because you're in charge of the whole operation, and it's been an absolute mess all season. Do managers and players still believe in it because of the guys officiating it?
I genuinely think they have ruined the game. The referees, I would make that statement. I think Ange is right. I think they have ruined the game, because I think when you, and it's rescuable, obviously, but I think that would be my statement across the season, because I agree with you. It's been an awful season. It's not the first one, but as a viewer, the fan, you want to feel a sense of control. Like I see that Tarkowski thing, I knew straight away. I knew what he was doing, and I know it's a red card. And then when it doesn't lead to a red card, you're sort of like, I'm losing the game here. I'm losing the game because I know that's a red card and they're getting it wrong. And I think that, you know, I also think with the offside, they never should have brought VAR in without automated offside anyway, because you're missing one of the biggest elements of technology. But even last night, like the SAR one, it was a foul, and he's looking at it again and again and again, because he's thinking about whether it's a red card. And I'm watching it and I'm going, we did a watch along for it, and I said, he's taking this long because he's thinking about whether it's a red card. And I'm like, he's watching it back in slow-mo. Well, that's the problem straight away. If you know it's a red card, if it's a red card and it's not. And I think that what we've got here, and it really annoys me, is that they very clearly are referees who don't, you know what they need to do, Robbie? They need to go and play a bit of five-a-side like twice a week, because they don't understand the game. That's the thing. To get that Tarkowski thing wrong, you can't have played the game at any level. To look at that SAR thing and think it might be a red card. I mean, he has caught him on the knee, but he's genuinely trying to win the ball. It's not a red card, but they don't seem to understand the very basics of football. That's the scary thing. They don't see Tarkowski and go, he's took the ball and he's purposely launched himself. And they miss. It's like the Lewis Skelly red card, isn't it? They don't realize that although he's caught him, he's tried to win the ball. It's like, it works both ways. It's not always a red card. Sometimes it looks nasty and you can get hurt, but it's not a red. And I think that's the thing for me with the referees. You're right. VAR is fine. The people running in it, it's like they decide at 14 years of age, I'm going to be a referee, and never actually play the game. They just watch it. And you've got to play the game to understand the little, you know, things that players do and don't do to win free kicks, to catch people. And I think Andrew's right.
But surely if you've been officiating games, because they would have started from their young, I go and watch loads of grassroots football. It's a very difficult job. Surely if you're officiating the game for that long, you would have seen those things anyway, right? You know
it's like being a chef and not tasting the food.
Yeah, I guess so.
It comes across. I know it's preposterous, but I just don't. Tarkowski's one was bad, but there's so many of them when you count them up that you go, do they actually play the game at any point in their life? Do they not understand that what he's done there is a foul, or you know, he's done it on purpose, or it wasn't on purpose?
You know what, Mark, right? Is there another sport where we moan about officiating as much as football? Like, I mean, like,
some of it's good. Other sports,
I'm trying to think. You know, like this season, it's been horrendous in the Premier League. It really has. They got to get their act together for next year. They really do.
Rugby, NFL, tennis, cricket. Whenever I watch it, very good. Very
good. Don't even know who the referees are, do you? It's just like,
and they're very authoritative. Yeah, they seem to know the game. Anyway, let's bring a bit of authority to this. We're back with win, lose, or draw. I'll tell you what the scores are in a minute, but let's start off with Manchester United against Man City. The city is ours, I think. We've beat them at their place amazingly this season. We actually beat City at Etihad. And amazingly, we've got an opportunity to do the double over them. Man United against Man City Sunday at Old Trafford. I'll let you go first on this. What are your thoughts?
It's a hard one to call for me. I mean, United, they lost the other night. By the way, you saying Alanga, man, look how quick that guy was. He's a lightning, isn't he? I mean, but I'm finding this hard to call because obviously no Haaland as well. But that Omar Mamouche's done all right. They've won a couple of games.
Was only Leicester.
Yeah, I know, that's true. The thing is, right, like United, when they're playing against City, Arsenal, Chelsea's teams like that are going to really attack them, and they can sort of sit back a bit. The tactics seem to work better with a sort of turns into a back five, and you guys counter very well. But then City, they can't afford to lose this. Like, with Chelsea winning last night,
Newcastle
that top four place, Newcastle won. That top four place is looking shaky for them. You play very well against us. I can see this being a draw, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I don't think you lose. I just think that they've got so much. This is so bad. I mean, that they have to win this, that I'm going to go for a 2-2.
Well, I can tell you in win, lose or draw, where me and Robbie go head to head every week, you get a point for getting it right. It was 46-44 at the start of last week, but we did do FA Cup and midweek Premier League. It is now 53-49 to Robbie. He's took another 2-point lead ahead of me. Just some highlights from that. FA Cup, we pretty much mirrored each other. Arsenal against Fulham, I've just put idiots because I went with a draw. Obviously, you went with an Arsenal win. So that was a point lost. Wolves, Chelsea, Wolves, West Ham. You went with Wolves. I went with a draw. So that was a 4-point lead, which pretty much mirrored itself all the way through. Yeah, there was nothing else that we didn't sort of get wrong or right together. We both went with Chelsea to beat Spurs. Both went Liverpool against Everton. Both didn't get Ipswich beating up Bournemouth, to be fair, and both didn't get Southampton drawing with Palace, but both got Newcastle, Brentford, both got City, Liverpool.
Would I go with the United one? I think I went with the draw.
Yeah,
on that as well,
you went with a draw. I went with the United win, so we both got it wrong. So yeah, it's a 4-point gap now. It's 53-49. So I've got a top. Yeah, I'm gonna go Man United win. I've got to differentiate where I can. And
don't blame you.
It's not historically. Look, we've been written off in these games for years. Whether it's Ollie, Jose, so I just think you sort of touched on it. We do turn up in these games. It's infuriating. I actually, you know what? It actually annoys me. You're probably the same as an Arsenal fan if it was you. It annoys me how we turn up for these games and then we don't turn up for other games. So I think we'll win. I think we will win. And a big week for United. Yeah,
the thing is, as I said, tactically, style-wise, styles make fights, as they say in boxing. And this is one of those, right? That's why the other night against Forest, I didn't fancy United to win because I was like, I know how Forest are at home. And you guys are going to have to go attack. And you should really have got a draw with Maguire at the end. But I don't know, I'm kind of edging towards a United win. But then I just think City, they've got to win this so badly. Surely they can't. That's why I just think a draw. I don't think they're going to win. But yeah, I'll go a draw for this one.
There we go. Let's go to your team then. We've got Everton against Arsenal. Last game at Goodison Park. Robbie, I was going to ask you about that anyway. But also, Gabriel out for the season, which sort of feeds into the Champions League game as well. Last game at Goodison, you filmed there loads, you've been there loads. I mean, obviously, we've had our last game there, and it's always been one of my favourites because it reminds me of like 80s football. Thoughts on the game and also the Gabriel injury?
Yeah, the Gabriel injury, first of all, that's devastating. Yet again, another player, Arsenal, hamstring surgery. That's Gabriel, that's Saka, that's Havertz. You've got Jesus out for the season. Ben White's missed, a massive portion of the season. He's out again. When I really, I don't know what it is, right? But when I really think about it, right, I'm like, how could we have won the title with all those injuries? It's not as, I know we should have brought in a striker, but I think to myself, if everybody had been as fit as they were last season, where we had a pretty injury-free season, I don't think Liverpool would have run away with it this season. Even without a striker, Arsenal would have been a close race. You can't sustain that amount of injuries to absolute key players. I mean, Takeru Tomiyasu, I think they said he's played 6 minutes this season, and he's out until
Worse than
Christmas.
Mason Mount.
Yeah, no, it's just the injuries at Arsenal have been absolutely horrendous this season. And the Gabriel's a massive miss for that game against Real Madrid. It's so frustrating to see Saka come back and score, and then to see your best defender go down. And this game against Everton, big up to Everton, right? Because again, I like going there as well. It's an old school ground, like you said, those old wooden terraces. And I like the Evertonians as fans. I think, you know, they're proper fans, you know what I mean? Like, great supported team. And like you said, they used to win titles back in the 80s, when you say 80s football. But it's going to be a tough game for Arsenal because, number one, I don't know what sort of team is he going to put out. Does he want to risk certain players ahead of that game against Real Madrid on Tuesday? The league's gone.
Yeah, just looking at the league. Yeah.
Top four is starting to look quite like that's going to be okay because we're about 10 points ahead of City in fourth, or 11 points. To me, he's going to have to rest a couple of players. I mean, you can't play Timber, even though they reckon it's just a knock. I wouldn't be playing Timber in that game because he's vital against Real Madrid. I think he's going to have to rotate. And Everton are very good at home, and I thought they were good in the first half the other night. They weren't very good in the second half against Liverpool. First half, they were good. Difficult place to go to, even when they're playing poorly. I think this is going to be a draw. I'm going to go for a draw in this game. I don't fancy us winning this game. I don't think we'll lose. Also, a hard team to beat, but yeah, draw. I think, which is what it was when they came to the Emirates.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, just on Gabriel, I've mentioned it before. I mean, I think he's such a brilliant. Arguably, could have been Player of the Year. Really, I think he's so good, and the goals he brings as well, the aerial threat.
And our best player.
Yeah, I think it's just. I think there's just a lot of injuries in football now because people are playing a lot of games. I think you need massive squads, and but I actually think that it's interesting because I've never realised this. When you're down near the bottom of the league like United are, you get 3 million quid for every place you finish. So even if you're 15th, finishing 14th is 3 million, and in these days, that's quite a lot of money for teams like Everton and Palace and even United for FFP purposes. So I think there is still something to play for Everton. Arsenal, I think, have got second place done. So, yeah, I think it would make sense to rest. But I don't know. I just think there might be a bit of comeback on Everton for that VAR. I think there might be a red card for Everton in this game. So I'm going to go Arsenal win in that one.
Okay. So Saka's back, and I reckon he might start that game. Although he won't play all of it, I don't think, you know what I mean, because they're going to want to just rest him up. Probably just psychologically get him starting. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, listen, I hope you're right.
Let's go through the rest of them. The 3:00 games on Saturday. Crystal Palace against Brighton. I'll go first on this. Brighton have had a bad week. I mean, beaten at home in the cup against Forest, and then beaten comprehensively by Villa as well in the race for top 5. Them and Bournemouth have just fell off this week. It's really sad, isn't it? But Palace surprised me not beating Southampton, but they had a good result in the cup. So Brighton need to win this, but I think Palace are very streetwise. That's what I'd call Palace. So I'm gonna go with a draw in that one.
Draw. This game to me should have been one of the TV games because this is a real heated derby. They're two teams that absolutely hate each other. Yeah, even though it's not a derby, but you know they hate each other. I'm going to go for a Palace win. I don't know what's happened to Brighton, man. They've just come back from the international break. They've been poor. They were disappointing in the FA Cup as well. I'm going to go for a Palace win. Sorry, Palace are at home. As I said, it's a derby game. I have to edge it for Palace.
Robbie's edging for Forest. He's edging for Palace. I'm going to go. What did I go? I got with a draw, didn't I? Big game, this one. I mean, I don't think it is. You're first on this one, Robbie. Ipswich against Wolves, 9-point gap. Big win for Ipswich at Bournemouth. Wolves are picking up the points as well. 8 games to go, 9-point gap. It is a 6-pointer. If Ipswich win, the gap is down to 6. But they are at home to Wolves. can they close that gap to 6 points and give themselves a little bit of a chance at Portman Road?
Massive game, because basically I feel if I'm the Wolves manager, I'm like, let's go all out cup final vibes, because we win this, they're relegated, right? You know, I mean, we put a 12-point gap between them and Ipswich. We're safe. Basically, they'd be safe, and that's why I feel that, you know. But then the same for Ipswich, they know they have to win. I think I'm going to go. I mean, I don't. Cunha's not back here, is he? I think I'm going to go for Wolves here, because they know that they win this game, and Ipswich know if they don't win the game, and sometimes when that jeopardy's on it, you know, I just feel that Wolves. If you're a Wolves player, if you're a Wolves fan, if you're a Wolves manager, you know this is the game that keeps you in the league officially. So I think they're going to go for it, and I fancy Wolves, who've been playing all right recently. Strand Larsen up front's been doing good as well. I'm going for a Wolves win.
I read somewhere that he's got the best conversion rate in the Premier League at the moment, or something like that.
Has he?
Yeah, something silly like that. It's another silly stat. But yeah, I agree. I think I probably would have gone with Wolves, but I am trying to get points, and this is one of those games where there's no point mirroring Robbie. So I'm just going to go. I could go draw. I'm going to go I'll go Ipswich win. I'll go Ipswich win. You know, draw doesn't help
they have
them.
to. They have to.
If Wolves win, though, I can see them at least getting past Everton or Spurs, maybe even United. So Wolves could finish the season quite strongly. But I'll go Ipswich with that. West Ham Bournemouth is another interesting one. West Ham are right down there with Everton and Spurs and everything. But Bournemouth, horrible run recently. I think they've got one of the worst. They've lost 4 of their last 5, and
they drew that game as well to Tottenham. Remember, they're 2-0 up.
Yeah, terrible, and knocked out the cup by Man City. I don't get it, because he's picking a good team. They just seem to have run out of ideas. 10th now, 10th place. They could drop even further. Terrible end to the season. West Ham, lost to Wolves, didn't they? So it's very hard to pick. But West Ham are at home. I will go with. You know what? I've got a funny feeling Bournemouth might just. This is going to be my shock of the week. I'm going to go Bournemouth win.
I'm not backing Bournemouth, man. They've just fallen off a cliff. Pressure's got to them. Pressure's got to them. West Ham, that sort of team, you don't know what you're going to get, but they can make it ugly. And then, you know, Bowen gets a little counter. I fancy this, a little 1-0 to West Ham, written all over it. West Ham win.
5:30, Villa Forest. Now, league table wise, if I said to you, Robbie, who's going to get that 5th spot if it was between Newcastle, Villa, and Chelsea? Villa got to keep winning. Forest in 3rd place they're 7 points ahead of Newcastle, so they've got a bit of comfort here. But it could be an opportunity to Villa. They almost want to pull Forest into it, don't they? Them teams to try and make them about it. But Forest have won their last 2. Villa have won their last 2. I think they won at Fulham and at Brighton. Very good results. So they're doing everything they can. They've got a good squad, Villa, as well.
Very good squad. And Rashford's, you know, he's scoring goals now. Asensio, the best sign of that January transfer window.
Yeah.
This is a great game. I think it's the best game of the weekend, you know, because both teams got to go for this. Well, Forest never go for it, do they? They just catch you on the counter attack. But it's a great game. Midlands derby. Villa have to win this to have any chance, to me, of getting into that top 5, right? And Forest are not the type of team you want to play when you have to win. You know what I mean? Because they just put everybody behind the ball and catch you on the counter attack. This is
could easily be
a draw. I'm gonna edge Villa. Let me go for a Villa win. They have to win. Let me go for a Villa win.
Yeah, I'd like to go for a draw, but I think I just got a feeling that Villa have got so many options at the moment. They do need to win. They're at home and they've got a good vibe around them at the moment. I just can't see Forest getting a clean sheet. So I'm going to go Villa win.
The only thing I'd say though, Mark, they also, a bit like Arsenal, they've got that big Champions League game against PSG.
Yeah.
But then surely they have to go full pelt for this as well. They can't worry about that. So
they got the squad for it as well. You know, some of their players on their bench at the moment. Yeah, I'll go Villa win with that. This is staying with the top 5 race. Good win for Chelsea against Spurs. Brentford against Chelsea. Brentford fell up a little bit, but me first on this one. Watch Chelsea; they're better with Jackson. You said this last week, but Brentford, I think Newcastle midweek a little bit unlucky. They're not having a bad season. I can see Chelsea dropping points here. I'm gonna go. Do I go with a Brentford win or do I go with a draw? I can see it. I can see a Brent. I'm going to go Brentford win. I can see a win.
Yeah, you can't argue that they couldn't win it because, it's, again, a local derby, West London derby, Brentford, they'll be pumped to try and get a win here. I don't know. I think Chelsea, they've got such a big prize to play for now. They've got teams breathing down their neck. They have to go for it. And I think Jackson, Cole Palmer, those sort of players coming back, Madueke, I think they might just have a bit too much for Brentford. I'm going to go for a Chelsea win. There
we go. Fulham-Liverpool. This might have been a game a few weeks ago that you'd have looked at it as an Arsenal fan and gone, Fulham, you never know what you're going to get. You still don't know what you're going to get. Fulham might still get something out of it. Where are you going to go with Fulham-Liverpool, Robbie?
It's annoying. It's annoying for us, an Arsenal fan, right, that we're not closer to Liverpool. I don't think they're playing well. I didn't think they played that great against Everton. Everton would have been a bit sharper in the first half. That game could have had a different outcome. Liverpool have been sort of doing that a lot, but that's what champions do. And they're going to be champions. And Fulham the other night against us, I mean, I didn't think they were that great either. I thought we was pretty, that one goal they got back flattered them. Total domination of that game really by Arsenal. But they are at home. They've got to go for it as well if they're going to get a European position, but I can't see them beating Liverpool. Yeah, I have to go for a Liverpool win.
Yeah, I'm going Liverpool on that. I just don't see. I think it's one of them games where you think something might happen, but
yeah, and Liverpool got nothing to. There's no pressure on them now. They're so far ahead, and they know just keep winning, just go for it. No Champions League, just got one game a week. Just go for every single game. I mean, they're going to win the league. Unfortunately.
This one should be a home win. It's Tottenham against Southampton. I'm first on this one. I didn't want to be on this. I mean, if Spurs... thing is, easily they can't beat Southampton, but I will go Spurs win.
Yeah? Well, listen, my shock of the week is coming back in. Yeah, right? By the way, right, what's Big Ange doing? Cupping what an idiot he got made to look, right? Because he made that substitution last night where I think he took off Bergvall then and the fans were chanting at him, you don't know what you're doing. And then when Sarr scored that goal, he cupped his ears to his own fans.
I haven't seen this yet. No.
Right? He cupped his ears to his own fans and then it ended up getting disallowed. You don't do that when you're under pressure. You don't. No. He's losing it, Big Ange. He's totally losing it. He keeps arguing with fans. He's hanging on by a thread, right? And I think, right, Southampton, they got a draw the other night, right? And I don't know why you're just assuming, Mark, that Spurs are going to win this game, right? They lost at home to Leicester, which that seems unthinkable, and they lost at home to Ipswich. So let's just complete the full set with Southampton going there and beating them as well, right? Shock of the weekend. A Southampton win at White Hart Lane or Tottenham Stadium, whatever they want to call it. Watch this space.
Well, that's a point back for me, definitely. I've got at least one back. We've done the Manchester derby. So that's the last. Oh, no, Leicester, Monday night against Newcastle at Leicester.
Is there any point?
Oh, no, I'm first on this one because you did Man United derby. Yeah, easy. Newcastle win.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
They're playing well as well.
Anybody who's to back Leicester, right? If I back Leicester, I'd be deserved to lose points. You know what I mean? They're worse than Southampton right now.
Yeah, they're terrible.
They're worse than Southampton. At least Southampton seem to have a little bit of fight in them, even though they know they're going down, right? And Southampton are trying to make sure that they don't go down with the lowest count points. Leicester have been absolutely dreadful. And yeah, Newcastle, easy win.
That's the tissue. It's not the white flag for Leicester, which they seem to have thrown in ages ago. Yeah, I'll go Newcastle on that one. I think, yeah, they're doing well as well. I didn't get the answer from you on that. I think in top 5 will be Champions League. Obviously, I think it's going to be Liverpool, Arsenal, and I think it will be Forest, Man City, and at the moment, this morning, I'm going to go Newcastle.
I think same as you, but I think it might be Chelsea. I was looking at some of the games they've got coming up over the next few weeks. They're supposed to win those games. Yeah, they're supposed to win those games. I think it's going to be Chelsea.
Interesting. It's a big, but the prize is big, isn't it? You know, if you miss out on it, it's a big difference.
Massive prize. I mean, you miss out on that. You know, even the type of players you're able to buy. You know, somebody like Newcastle. If you miss out on that, what happens to Isak? All of a sudden, he becomes vulnerable to So it's important. It's important for all of these teams.
Legend Robbie, I hope you have a good weekend and everybody else as well. Get involved with win, lose or draw. And we will be on DR Sports on Monday reacting to the weekend and hopefully a Manchester United win in the derby ahead of the Champions League and Europa League next week. Absolute legend. Cheers for coming on, Robbie.
Thank you very much. Don't forget to get that honey, yeah? Remember what Dr. Robbie told you, you know what I mean?
I am. I'm going to pop out this morning. Take care, everyone. Speak to you in a bit.